British-Egyptian activist Alaa Abd El-Fattah has finally arrived safely in the United Kingdom after the controversial lifting of a long-standing travel ban that had kept him confined despite his release from prison. The Egyptian government had imposed a strict travel ban on El-Fattah even after officially releasing him from jail back in September, preventing his departure amid ongoing political tensions. On December 26th, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer publicly called the long-awaited return of this prominent critic of the Egyptian government a moment of profound relief for human rights advocates worldwide. The ex-blogger was originally jailed back in 2011 during Egypt's explosive popular uprising against former authoritarian leader Hosni Mubarak, marking the beginning of his decades-long battle against repression. El-Fattah then emerged as one of the most outspoken and fearless critics of Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, who brutally seized power through a military coup in 2013 and consolidated a repressive regime. The UK government had repeatedly expressed deep concern over El-Fattah's deteriorating physical and mental condition during his prolonged imprisonment, repeatedly calling for his immediate and unconditional release. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer personally urged his Egyptian counterpart in direct communications to finally end El-Fattah's arbitrary detention and allow him to travel freely to safety. Starmer highlighted that Alaa's high-profile case had been the absolute top priority for his incoming government ever since he first assumed office, driving relentless diplomatic pressure on Cairo. However, back in the UK, Keir Starmer has been fiercely slammed by critics for warmly welcoming what they call an alleged Islamist extremist with a history of inflammatory rhetoric. Nigel Farage said, and I quote, "Tory and Labour both open our doors to the wrong people. They are as bad as each other." Unquote. El-Fattah has allegedly labeled ordinary British people as dogs and monkeys in shocking online statements, while openly calling for Zionists to be killed in calls to violent action. El-Fattah also previously told his radicalized supporters to straight up kill police officers during confrontations and brazenly declare that he hated white people in divisive public posts. This explosive row now risks seriously undermining Starmer's desperate attempts to prove that his Labour government can finally get tough on migration issues and national security threats. El-Fattah expressed these extreme and hateful remarks in a series of now-deleted posts on X that date back more than a full decade, resurfacing to haunt Labour's human rights advocacy. The controversial activist has also been directly accused of denying the Holocaust outright in one particularly egregious X post from as far back as 2010, drawing widespread condemnation. In a series of inflammatory tweets posted between 2008 and 2010, he allegedly heaped unreserved praise on al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, glorifying the mastermind of 9/11 attacks. Robert Jenrick, the Shadow Justice Secretary, has demanded that Starmer immediately explain whether he knew about these incendiary remarks before celebrating the activist arrival on British soil. Robert Jenrick said, and I quote, "Shame on the Prime Minister for making it his top priority to bring an extremist to our country who has incited violence against Jews. This awful extremist should never have set foot in the UK again." Starmer and his cabinet taking to social media to laud this man is truly sickening. They seem to be more interested in cozying up to Islamists, presumably in the vain hope of securing votes, than keeping the British people safe. Labour Party activists have been relentlessly campaigning for El-Fattah's freedom and release ever since the party languished in opposition, making his return a bittersweet political victory turned liability.